What miracle were they looking for? They saw dangerous dimensions of God. But at the slightest opportunity, they bowed to Baal. They committed adultery with Ashtaroth. The alternate system that has been raised in the body of Christ is basically because there is a hunger for what is in Babylon. And we need to find a way to feed our loss. Let's look at scriptures now. We must finish this today. Tomorrow is miracle service. Ephesians chapter 5 from verse 1. Ephesians chapter 5 from verse 1. Ephesians chapter 5 from verse 1. Therefore, be imitators of God as what? Their children. And walk in love as Christ also has loved us and given himself for us, an offering and a sacrifice to God for a sweet-smelling aroma. So, Paul is teaching, as he teaches in almost all his letters, that the proof of your love is in the willingness to sacrifice yourself. So even on your journey on the narrow path, the proof that you love God is in the willingness to offer your life as a sweet-smelling aroma to God. If you have not come to that point in your Christian life and in your Christian walk, then the love that you profess is fake. The surest way to test love is in its ability to sacrifice. So he says, if we're going to prove our love and our love walk, our lives must mirror the same life that Jesus lived when he became an offering and a sacrifice to God for a sweet-smelling savour. 3. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not even be named amongst you as is. That's where I actually want to emphasize. As is what? Give me a simpler translation. Let's see if we can. Such sins, it says, have no place among what? So it means that there are things that are not acceptable amongst God's people. So if we see you operating with those dimensions, you are out of character. You are not mirroring the reality of those who are God's people. He says such things are not fitting. You know when they say this thing is not befitting for you. A Christian should not be found engaging in those kind of things. It's not fitting. It's not fitting. Go to the next verse. Go back to New King James. Neither filthiness, nor what? Nor what? Which are not what? But rather what? Now, if you say quas jesting, we see comedians who say that they are Christian comedians. But they are on all kinds of immoral platforms. You know why? He's an entertainer. His goal is to amuse, to jest, to speak about things that can excite the flesh of people. When he finishes, he can still go and sing and release album. But if he's on the right platform, he can talk about sex, talk about women's bodies, talk about all kinds of things. But if you ask him, he will tell you that he's a Christian comedian. There are things that are not befitting for saints. A saint cannot be an entertainer. He must be a minister. Because we do not understand this dichotomy, these differences, that is why we have allowed so many things into the body of Christ now. So many distractions. So many distractions. And the biggest place of our weakness is in our music. The biggest place of the weakness of this generation is our music. The songs we sing, the dances we dance. That's why I'm afraid of praise service. Because some of you that are comported now and looking so pious and sanctimonious, say, wow. Let them do, doom, 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 doom. The place don't scatter. All the dances that are in worldly music videos, I will see you dancing it. The question is, how did you learn it? How come? You see, I ask these questions very sincerely. How come that all the dances we dance is from immoral videos? They are the ones teaching us how to move in rhythmic worship and praise to a holy God. How come? Why is it like that? Why is it that it is Babylon, it is Sodom, it is Moab, it is Ammon that is feeding the church? Why? It's because we think that there is something the world has that we cannot live without. So let's create an alternate system that will satisfy that lust. So we create all kinds of strange things. And entertainment has become an idol in the body of Christ. Entertainment. You don't go to church to get entertained. You go to church to be ministered to. So I don't agree. There is no basis for it in scripture for you to say you are a Christian entertainer. You are a Christian that is making people amused, diverting people's attention. It doesn't make sense. The Christian has two ministries. Notice, the Christian has two ministries. Your first ministry is to God. That is what we call inner court ministry. Your first ministry is to God. It is out of your ministry to God that your second ministry now becomes available, and that is your ministry to men. So whatever sphere of human endeavor that you find yourself, you must function in these two ministries. Whether you're an engineer, whether you are an artist that paints or draws, whether you are a musician, you must see yourself as what? Minister. So you minister to God, which is your secret life, and then you minister to men, which is your public ministry. If you have this approach, you will live in fear and reverence before God. There are things that you will be afraid to mirror to men. Because if in your ministry to men, you divert their hearts from God, your ministry is a curse. It's a curse. So the goal of everything we do must not be to entertain. Look at the Winlos, for instance. Did you watch that movie? What is it called? Prophetsuddenly. Did you see how that movie went? From beginning to the end, there was a message it was trying to communicate. Trying to communicate. The goal for anyone who says that they are trying to feed the body of Christ must not be entertainment, it must be edification. Your spirit must be edified. You must communicate Christ. Communicate our values. Communicate what we stand for, what we represent. There are many things that we do that have no root in God. They just get people excited. People just shout and make noise. I'm being very careful because God has not given me release to say many things. So I'm just not going to say anything. So you guys waiting for me to call somebody's name. Oh, I won't say it. I won't say anything. That's not for today. So many things that are done that add no value. So how should a Christian handle entertainment in this world? I'll give you two things. How should a Christian handle entertainment? Number one, don't make it your God. Don't make it your God.